Hey, what's up, everybody? So, today is a rest day, and it actually feels like I need a rest. It's so funny. Last week I was like, oh no, I don't want to rest. I want to cheat. But today, nah, I'm resting because I'm freaking beat. Because tomorrow will be another day that I will be back at it, gung ho. So I'm gonna take Coach's advice. That's on the plan, and I'm going to rest. So, but I still wanted to just get out and just kind of walk around. I'm so used to just being out in the open, and especially when I gotta work out, I do like to kind of walk around and loosen up that way, and then go inside the gym and maybe do a little bit more loosening up and then hit it. But today I'm just kind of walking around, get out of the house, enjoy this cloudy, overcast. Let's see, what do you guys want to hear? Oh, you know what, I mentioned I had scoliosis as a kid. So why don't I talk about when I first found out that I did have it and what I had to do to get it corrected. Yeah. So I was in the 10th grade and I was walking out in the hall at school. And the school nurse actually saw me from behind and she goes, "Hey, Thomas." So I stopped and turned around. I'm like, oh, shucks, what did I do? I didn't do anything. I'm just walking down the hall. I'm not sick. So she said, "Come here." So she kind of like looked at my back and she goes, that's you. I think you might have scoliosis. So she goes, well, come with me. So we went to her office, and she wrote out this thing, for this doctor that she wanted my parents to take me to see. So she said, but you got to act on this fast before you turn 16. And I'm thinking like, whoa, what's that got to do with it? But, So went home, did all that, and my mom took me to this doctor, and they diagnosed me with scoliosis, and they said, okay, yeah, we need to get him in the hospital ASAP before he turns 16, so that if he's 15, he can go to Shriners, and they can do it. It'll be under their plan, and it won't cost anything. So, with that being said, I left straight from the doctor's office to the hospital, and I'm like, but wait a minute. Don't I get to go home? Don't I get to get some clothes? I mean, I gotta go to school tomorrow. I was like, I don't understand this. This makes no sense. But you know what? We did it. And got there to the hospital and, did this whole thing, diagnosis again and all that. And then they told me too, that, yeah, we're going to have to keep him here. We're going to do his procedures and all this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I was just, it was like foreign. I'm like, I was in shock. I'm like, what? Whoa, because she was throwing all this at me. I'm going from like just living my life to like, okay, now you got to get all this stuff done to you. And, they're explaining the whole procedures and everything and what I'm going to have to go through. And mom's crying and I'm like trying to be all strong and everything. Like, oh, it's okay. So anyway, what happened was that, she left me there, 15-year-old, at the hospital. And the first couple of days was x-rays, diagnosis, and all that. And the third day, they put me in this cast, that was molded the opposite direction that I was curving. And oh my goodness, that thing was horrible. And it was so painful because they were twisting me the opposite. It was twisting me the opposite direction that I was curving. So, I mean, so they plastered me up in that, and then I think it was like every 2 weeks, it was they would open it up and kind of like bend it a little bit more, slightly bend it a little bit more, in the opposite direction, trying to get me more in alignment. So I did that, and after about, let's see, 2 months of wearing that thing and being in the hospital, um, they took it off, and I was like, whoa, I wasn't leaning anymore. It was like I was in a perfect alignment, and I'm like, great. I thought that was it. I'm like, oh wow, no surgery, nothing. I get to go. And they were like, okay, now we've got you in alignment. We have to do the surgery, because if we don't, it's going to go back. It's going to curve back again. And I was like, oh no, I've been here 2 months. I want to go home. Shoot. So anyway, what happened was that they did the surgery, and I remember they woke me up in the middle of the surgery, told me to wiggle my toes, and make sure that I wasn't paralyzed. But I do remember coming out of that, that induced, stuff that they put you to sleep with. I forgot what it's called. I don't know. But I kind of woke up a little bit, and I moved my toes, and I'm like, okay, they're like, I hear them talking, and then I drifted back off, and then when I woke back up again, I was in recovery, and I had on just the top part, the bottom part of the cast. They had the top part still because they had cut it in half. So I was lying there like, like in the bottom part, and I was up here, and I was just so much pain. I was like, it was just pain, and all I could do was just tears coming down, and so then later that day they said, yeah, your mom's here. And they're like, yeah, she's been here all this time, like the whole day, and it was night. I guess she'd been there like the whole day and into the night, so after that, they let me see. I think it was like maybe 2 weeks. They fitted me into another type of cast, but it wasn't plaster. It was like some kind of hard plastic, and it had this thing up here that I felt like Herman the Monster. I was like, I couldn't turn my neck and all that, and it kept me in alignment. And so, and I had to wear that thing for almost a year, but what they did was they cut out the stomach. The stomach was cut open so that I could, expand, and I remember I started getting stretch marks because I was, eating and all that, and I'm like, I'm gonna bust out of this thing, but the stomach part was open. They left the stomach part open, the back part was like all hard, like a hard type of plastic with this collar, like that, and and I had to go to school like that, and I hated school. And in the summer, it was so hot and sticky because I couldn't take it off, and I was like, I would be so glad when I can get this thing off. So after about a year of wearing that thing, they took it off, and ta-da! I was like, no, this is funny. Like, I'd have to go back to the hospital every month, right? So every month I would think, well, maybe this is the month they're going to take it off. Maybe it's the month they're going to take it off. So it was 6 months. Oh, maybe they're going to take it off. 7 months. Oh, that's going to be 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. And I was like, you know what? I got to the point where I was like, they're not going to take it off. So finally, I think it was like 11 months. They took it off, and I was like, I don't believe it. And they took it off, and it was, it was just such I was saying goodbye to like the old me, and hello to like a new me where I could do stuff, and I could be mobile, and I could move around and dance and all that, and just like be like, be normal again, just get that thing off me. So, but that's what I had to go through, with the whole scoliosis thing. And like, oh, in the operation, it was like a Harrington rod. I don't know if they do that now, but back then that's how they did the corrective surgeries with the scoliosis. I have no idea why they do it now. And but anyway, so there's a lot of gratitude for those doctors, because, and then that school nurse, I always remember her, because because I had, like this smaller arm, and I was leaning like that. I didn't know, family didn't know. We just assumed that because of that's the way that it was supposed to be. I didn't know that was, you could get it corrected. We didn't know. But thank goodness we know. Now the world knows that stuff like that can be fixed. With the scoliosis. So yeah. So that's the story behind the scoliosis. Alrighty, you guys take care. Take care.